My dear child, have you ever cried out in the middle of the storm? Not with rehearsed prayers or perfect phrases, but with trembling, desperate words that felt like your final thread of hope? Have you ever whispered my name with a voice so faint it barely rose above the chaos? When everything around you roared louder than your thoughts, louder than your breath, I heard you, and I still do. Even now in the eye of the storm, I hear every word your heart can barely form. When you pray in the midst of the struggle, you're not sending empty words into the wind. You're calling upon the one who shaped the skies with a whisper, who commands the waves with a glance, and who holds your weary soul gently, right here, in the palm of my hand. Before we continue, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the channel. These messages are here to remind you, you are never alone in your storm. I know the weight you're carrying. I know how heavy your heart feels. I've seen you wonder, is God even here? You've prayed again and again, but the skies stayed dark and the storm pressed on. You've looked for signs, hoped for a shift, longed for relief, and yet it still rages. And so your mind begins to ask the questions your heart is afraid to say out loud. Does God hear me? Am I doing something wrong? Why hasn't He answered? Don't be afraid of these questions, beloved. I'm not. They don't drive me away. They draw me closer. I welcome your honesty. I delight in your nearness. I want you to understand something no one may have told you. Prayer isn't about control. It's not a formula or performance. It's about connection. It's the place where your soul meets mine, where your spirit finds rest, even when the world refuses to offer any. When you pray through the storm, it's not the words that hold the power. It's the courage to speak it all. The miracle is not that you know what to say, but that your soul still believes, even if just in pieces, that I'm real and that I'm listening, because I am. Prayer is where your storm crashes into my stillness. You may think the chaos has to quiet down first before you come to me, that you have to be calm or collected before I'll listen. But no, my child, it is in the shaking, in the trembling, in the middle of the tempest that I do my deepest work. I don't wait for the skies to clear before I speak. I speak from within the thunder. I don't wait until you're composed to draw near. I come rushing the moment your heart cries out for me. And yes, sometimes I answer with a miracle. The door opens, the burden lifts, the healing flows like water. But other times, my answer is different. My answer is presence. I give you a peace that doesn't make sense to the world, a strength that surprises even you. You asked for rescue, but I gave you endurance. You begged for escape, and I gave you the ability to stand firm. You wanted me to silence the storm, but instead, I stilled your soul. That too is a miracle. You are not praying to a distant God who needs you to impress Him. You are speaking to your Father, your Creator, your Redeemer. I know your voice in the crowd. I recognize your cry in the night. I lean in even when all you can offer is a whisper of weakness. I'm not asking you to perform. I'm asking you to trust me. The enemy will try to convince you that prayer is pointless, that silence is safer than honesty. He wants you to believe your words don't matter, because he knows the truth. Every single time you pray, you push back the darkness. Every time you speak my name, even through pain, you declare that the storm is not your master. I am. You may not see the results right away, but when you pray, you're planting seeds in the soil of faith. Some of them sprout fast, others rest unseen for a season, but none of them are wasted. None go unnoticed. I collect each one. I gather your tears like treasure. I hold your sighs like sacred incense, and I promise you, the harvest will come. So don't wait for your prayer to be perfect. Come to me messy, come to me raw, come angry if you need to. I can handle your frustration. I can hold your grief. There is nothing you can say that will make me turn away. What turns me away is not your broken honesty. It's the silence born from believing I don't care. Speak to me again. Let me in. Even if nothing on the outside changes, when you pray through the storm, something eternal is happening. The spiritual realm responds. Angels are dispatched. Strength is stirred. Peace is infused. Your battered spirit rises, not because of what you feel, but because of who I am. I'm not ignoring your pain. I'm not slow because I'm indifferent. Everything I do is timed with eternity in mind. This storm? It is a season, not your forever. This struggle? It is a moment, not your identity. And prayer? Prayer is the bridge that carries you through when your hands are too tired to hold on. So come to me again, my child. Even if all you can say is help, even if your voice is faint, even if your soul feels silent, I know how to interpret the silence. I hear the ache. When your spirit groans without words, my spirit intercedes for you. Nothing is lost, nothing is wasted. I see it in the quiet spaces between your prayers. I feel it in the way your voice trembles when you whisper my name. And I want you to know this. I do not turn away. I do not love you less. In fact, I lean in closer. Even when you feel disappointed, even when your soul is tired, even when your words feel small. Disappointment is not the death of faith, my beloved. It is often the birthplace of deeper intimacy. When you bring me your raw, unfiltered heart, yes, even the parts that question, the parts that feel let down, you're not breaking trust, you're building it. You're making room for a real relationship. I never asked you to fake peace or pretend joy. I never expected you to wear a mask before me. I came in flesh, not so you would avoid the valley, but so that I could walk through it with you. So you would never feel alone in your wrestling. You see delay and feel betrayal. You hear silence and assume rejection. But that is not what I'm doing. Sometimes my no is my mercy. Sometimes my wait is preparing the ground beneath you for something far greater. And sometimes the very thing you begged for would have undone what I'm lovingly building within you. I don't always show you why. Not because I want to frustrate you, but because even if I revealed the whole picture right now, you might still not understand it. Or worse, you might stop growing before the fruit is ready. So instead, I stay with you. I wait with you. I weep with you. And yes, my child, I pray with you. I pray over you. I pray for you. I sit beside you and hold your every prayer, even the broken ones, even the angry ones, especially those, because those are real, and I can only heal what you're willing to reveal. Prayer does not guarantee that life will unfold exactly how you hope, but it does guarantee this: you will never walk through it alone. The enemy wants you to believe that love means I will always say yes, but the cross says otherwise. The cross proves that love sometimes looks like sacrifice, like enduring pain, like holding on to hope even in suffering. That's what I'm teaching you in prayer. Not how to avoid pain, but how to walk through it with me. You ask, is something wrong with my faith? You wonder if maybe you're not believing hard enough, praying long enough, hoping big enough. But let me tell you, faith isn't measured by how loud your confidence sounds when life is perfect. It's measured by your quiet decision to come back to me, even when everything feels like it's falling apart. That one small prayer, help me still believe. That moves heaven. That shakes the gates of darkness. That touches my heart. When you pray in the storm while disappointment clings to your chest, I do not shame you. I honor you. Because that's when prayer becomes worship in its purest form. Not a transaction, not a ritual, but surrender. You are saying, I don't understand you, but I'm still choosing you. And my child, that is love. So speak your disappointment to me. Tell me the truth you've been afraid to say. I'm not insecure. I'm not offended. I'm your father. And I want to hear it. I want to hold it. I want to show you that even in the places where you felt forgotten or failed, I've been writing a story of redemption. Even in the prayers you thought went unanswered, I was answering in ways deeper than words. You may not feel it yet, but every time you pray through the ache, your spirit grows stronger. Like running against the wind, yes, it's painful, but it builds the muscles of perseverance that will carry you further than you've ever gone. Your trembling prayers are not weak. They are sacred. They are bold. They are real. And in time, you will look back on this season with wonder, not bitterness. You will see how I carried you, how I redirected you, how I gathered every tear and used it to water the seeds of strength. You don't pray because you understand. You pray because you trust that I do. So be honest. Let the questions spill out. Let the grief come to the surface. I'm not looking for polished religion. I'm looking for relationship. And real relationship is built on truth, even the messy, painful, unspoken parts. Let me into the place where it hurts, because I've been sitting with you in that space all along. When you pray through the storm of disappointment, you are not just reaching for answers. You are opening the door to healing. You are making space not just for relief, but for transformation. And you are declaring to the world, whether you realize it or not, that faith is not about getting everything you want, but about knowing who you belong to, even when everything else is falling apart. I'm here. I've always been here. Even in the silence, even in the disappointment, I am still good, and I am not finished. There is something holy about stillness. Those quiet moments when you stop striving, stop fixing, stop performing, and just let yourself be with me. Prayer is not always words. It's not always petitions. Sometimes the most powerful prayer is silence. When your soul is aching and you have nothing left to say, but you still remain with me, that moves mountains. I know how hard it is for you to be still. The world tells you movement is progress, productivity is purpose. But I tell you this, stillness is strength, rest is resistance. In your stillness, you declare, you are God, you are in control. And the enemy trembles at that kind of faith. My silence is not abandonment. It's not neglect. It's the deep breath before the breakthrough. It's the sacred hush before the miracle unfolds. I do not always shout above the storm. Sometimes I whisper. And in the silence, your spirit learns to recognize my voice. Not through volume, but through intimacy. Stillness is not a waste. It is a gift, a place of renewal, restoration, and reorientation. When you rest in prayer, I restore your strength. When you wait in my presence, I prepare you for what's coming. When you slow down to commune with me, I pour into you what rushing never could. You don't have to speak loud. You don't have to say it perfectly. You just have to be with me. Because when you are simply present, I give you wisdom, peace, clarity, and power. You measure your prayers by emotion and eloquence, but I measure them by your presence. So if you're tired, sit with me. If you're confused, be still with me. If you're overwhelmed, lay it all down and let me hold you. Let me remind you that rest is not weakness. It is worship, and worship is warfare. In the stillness, I whisper what the noise tries to silence. You are still mine. I have not forgotten you. You are seen. You are safe, even when the storm still rages. Stay with me. Let me be your peace. You may not see it right away, but prayer begins to shift your vision, not by erasing the reality of your storm, but by allowing you to see it through my eyes, not your own. Yes, the mountain may still be high, the storm still fierce, the valley still deep. But when you pray, really pray, you begin to discern purpose in the pressure, beauty in the brokenness, and strength in the struggle. That's what so many miss. They think prayer is an escape, a shortcut to comfort. But true prayer doesn't take you around the storm. It walks you through it with me by your side. You've asked me to change your situation. I've heard you, but right now, I am doing something deeper. I'm changing you in the middle of it. I am strengthening your roots, expanding your capacity, training you to stand firm, not only when it's easy, but when it costs everything. Because you were never meant to just survive the storm. You were meant to rise in it. I lift your eyes, beloved. I clear the fog that's clouded your vision. This storm you're walking through, it's not the whole story. It's only a chapter, a painful one. Yes, but not the final one. There is still so much more ahead. More joy, more clarity, more breakthrough. But don't rush through this moment trying to escape it, because I am here too, not only waiting at your future victory, but standing with you in your present battle. You may look back and feel like time was wasted, like you spent too long in fear, too many days doubting, drifting, discouraged. But I waste nothing. Every detour, every delay, every moment you thought was lost, I use it, I redeem it, and through prayer, I help you reframe the entire story. You begin to see where mercy hid in the middle of mistakes. You recognize my fingerprints in what once felt like a mess. And even when the situation doesn't shift, you do. That changes everything. Let your prayer go deeper now, not just asking for relief, but asking for revelation. Ask me what I'm showing you through this. Ask what I'm building within you. And I will answer, not always with words, but with awareness, with peace that settles where panic once ruled, with faith that stops striving and starts resting in me. You don't need all the answers right now. You just need the eyes to see that I'm here, that I'm working, even this, for your good. You will see it soon, I promise. But even before you do, let prayer open your eyes and keep walking by faith, not by sight. You're not alone in the storm. Many before you have whispered prayers in the dark, unsure if they'd ever be heard. You're not the only one who's cried and questioned whether your faith was enough because fear felt so loud. I want you to know, this place you're in, many have walked it, and I carried them. I loved them. I stayed faithful, and I am doing the same with you. You've heard stories of others, rescued instantly, healed quickly, delivered suddenly, and you've asked, why not me? But I do not compare my children. I do not forget any one of them. I'm working in your life with just as much care, love, and intentional timing. Let me show you now what you may have missed. Others are watching how you pray through this. They see your faith, even when it trembles. They see your hope, even in your pain. That quiet faith, it preaches louder than any sermon. What you're building in the silence of prayer isn't just for you, it's for them too. There are people who will find strength because they saw you kneel when life tried to break you. They'll return to me because your life pointed them to the God who stays. Your pain has purpose. Your prayers are not in isolation. They are part of a larger tapestry I am weaving for redemption. Even my son prayed through the storm. Even he asked that the cup be taken away. He wept, and I was with him just as I am with you. His surrender, not my will but yours, revealed a glory that changed eternity. And beloved, when you pray through your storm, you join that sacred lineage of surrender. Your faith echoes through eternity. You may think your impact is small, but I tell you, it is eternal. Because I don't measure the size of your prayers by volume, I weigh the posture of your heart, and your heart, though weary, is turned toward me. That's all I've ever asked. That is enough. Let me remind you of the prayers I've already answered. That sudden peace in the middle of chaos, that was me. The strength to face one more day when you felt like collapsing, me. The unexpected comfort, the quiet moment of hope, the breath you didn't think you had left, all me. I've been with you, answering in ways quieter than the storm, and still, I'm not finished. More answers are coming. Restoration is ahead. What I am writing in your life does not end with this storm. I'm not only the God of beginnings, I am the God of breakthroughs, the God of resurrection. I finish what I start. So pray with expectation, not because you need control, but because you trust the one who holds the full picture. Your prayers, spoken through tears, through confusion, through silence, have not gone unnoticed. You've been shaped in this fire, not destroyed. Your heart, though bruised, now beats with a deeper understanding. Not just knowledge about me, but communion with me. This storm has stripped away distractions and false strength, and in their place I've revealed something more enduring. Me, my presence, my nearness. You feared it would break you, but here you are, still seeking, still speaking. My name, that beloved, is a miracle unfolding in real time. The storm that tried to drown you only pushed you deeper into my arms. You've come to know that my nearness isn't just a promise, it's a lifeline. And every whisper, every trembling prayer has been heard. Not one has been forgotten. I've honored each one, received each one, and I am moving through them in ways you can't yet imagine. Now here is where everything shifts. Your authority in prayer has grown, not because you've shouted louder, but because you've learned to trust deeper. You now know how to walk through fire and not be consumed. You've waited in the dark and still called me faithful. You've seen me as not just the God of victory, but the God of endurance. You've been transformed, not by the storm itself, but by what you found in me inside it. You may not feel different, but your spirit has changed. You now breathe differently. You hope differently. You pray differently. You've become a person who walks with me, even when the path is unclear. And soon, very soon, you'll begin to see the fruit. The doors that once stayed closed will open, not just to give you what you asked for, but to show you how I've prepared you to carry it. The peace you long for will settle, not as a fleeting visit, but as a permanent home within you. You will speak with a voice shaped by fire and comforted by grace. You will walk into rooms once filled with fear, carrying calm. You prayed as one who feared the waves. Now you rise as one who walks above them, not because they've ceased, but because your faith has become stronger than the fear. Your roots now stretch deeper than the storm can reach, and I will use you, your voice, your story, your scars, to guide others still caught in their own storms. You will say, I've been there, and God is faithful, and your voice will echo mine. This storm has not broken you. It has refined you. It hasn't disqualified you. It's prepared you. What we've built together in prayer, this holy ground of surrender and trust, is going to overflow. The pain you've endured, it's now the soil for something beautiful to grow. So now, beloved, take a deep breath. Whisper one more prayer. You are almost through, not just because the storm is fading, but because your spirit has risen above it. And when you look back, you won't just see devastation. You'll see my fingerprints, my presence, my hand in every single step. You'll remember the voice you heard in the chaos, and it was mine. And I never stopped speaking. This, beloved, is what the storm has taught you. That prayer is not just something you do, it's who you are now. It's how you live. It's where we meet. The power of prayer isn't only in what it changes around you, it's in what it awakens within you. You now carry something sacred, a story written through fire and faith, a story not born in ease but in perseverance, not shaped in calm but in communion. You no longer question if I hear you. Now you know, I always have. I always will. So keep praying, not just when the clouds gather, but when the sun shines. Because prayer is not just for storms, it's the rhythm of our relationship. It's how we walk, how we grow, how we live together. Let your prayer now be bold, rooted in what you know of me, not just what you hope. Come to me like the beloved child you are. Speak to me like the friend you've come to know. Rest in me like the soul who finally understands. This is home. You prayed through the storm, and I met you there. I always will. Amen. If this message stirred your spirit, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone walking through their own storm. Let your voice echo God's love into their darkness. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Listen to Almighty for more messages that bring His presence right into your heart. Like, comment, and let us know. How has God spoken to you in the storm? Your testimony could be someone else's turning point.